Hello everyone and welcome back to another average review. And today we're not only doing a throwback to an older release, but we're not even reviewing a regular action figure. Instead, we're reviewing a vehicle from one of the very, very early McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse waves, the Bat-Raptor. And while I'm looking at the packaging, I gotta confess something. I have no clue what this vehicle is or even where it's from. All I know is that it was one of the first McFarlane DC Multiverse vehicles, and obviously it's a Batman one, but yeah, I don't really know anything about this vehicle. Looking at the back of the box, and we can see, an image of the Bat-Raptor along with a bunch of the other figures from, I believe, the first wave of the DC Multiverse line. Like Action Comics and Detective Comics 1000 Batman, had the Hellbat armor, the animated versions of Batman and Superman, the Superman Unchained armor, Green Arrow from the Arrow show, which was it was a pretty interesting choice for a first wave, and that one, the only classic Harley Quinn they've made, which was an animated figure. Yeah, we kind of need a new one that, isn't based off the animated series style and instead based off, the comics. But enough complaining about what McFarlane needs to release. That wasn't anything important, don't worry. Let's get this Bat-Raptor out of the box, and hopefully I can find some info about this thing online right after I cut away. Well, after a fair bit of research, I figured out this about the Bat-Raptor. It first and only appeared in Volume 2, Issue 1 of The Batman Who Laughs, published in 2019. In it's basically just a vehicle for Batman. Nothing too special, they just decided to introduce this new Batman vehicle in one issue. I mean, honestly, I can't blame them. If I started working on the Batman title, I would absolutely start introducing a bunch of new vehicles. So, honestly, they were kind of tame just introducing one. But I mean, looking at the sculpting and paintwork on this vehicle, and it's pretty dang good. It's a three-wheeled style car, which is, pretty unique for Batman. It definitely does give off the vibes of, the Batmobile and the Bat-Cycle. And, there's a lot of cool details on here. There's obviously this Bat logo here on the front, but there's a lot of, Bat logo motifs throughout the entire, vehicle. Like right here, this sort of almost forms a Bat logo. I might be seeing things, but I'm pretty sure this right here, this outline around the engines is definitely meant to, evoke the feeling of, the Bat symbol. Same for the treads on the wheels. These are obviously, a Bat logo. So yeah, nothing too, special about these details. I'm pretty sure I've seen something similar on other Batman vehicles, but it's still really cool. I like how this car looks. On the bottom, there's actually a lot of painted detail. Probably more than on, the top of the car. There's just a lot of sculpting and, dry brushing, silver and then a dark gray throughout. It's really nice looking. I wish it would stand on its own so that I could, give a better view of it for you, but, yeah, it looks really nice. Speaking of things that look nice, I love the painted detail on this part of the wheel right here, with the bits of red piping along with, the dirty metal texture, like the worn metal. It looks really, really cool. I also like the, translucent red windshield. Nothing much to say about that, I just think it's cool, and I do like that, the inside of the vehicle is pretty fairly detailed. You have all the control panels, the resting area for, Batman to sit in. There's just a lot of cool details on this vehicle. I think it's pretty dang neat, while also being a unique Bat vehicle. This doesn't really look that similar to any Batmobiles or Bat-Cycles, while, still sort of evoking the feeling of them almost, since, it's a Batman vehicle. They kind of all evoke a similar feeling. So yeah, point is, I like this vehicle. It looks cool, and McFarlane Toys did a good job sculpting and painting it. But hey, I still structure these vehicle reviews the same as the action figure reviews, so let's see this car's articulation. Well, the front wheel spins, so do the two back wheels. But that's not it, because this Bat-Raptor has a special feature. You see, if you pull the front wheel, it extends, and then the cockpit also extends forward. So the car is, well, it's a little larger. That's kind of it. I assume this is to get, like, any Batman figure, to make it way easier for them to fit in. It's kind of fun just to do this over and over again, though. Well, moving on to the figure comparisons, and of course we have to start out with the standard male and female comparisons for this channel: Renew Your Vows, Spider-Man, and Spinneret. In case you're wondering, yeah, a regular 6-inch figure can fit in here since, this vehicle's meant for 7-inch figures. Now, I don't have the version of Batman that released alongside this Bat-Raptor in the first DC Multiverse series, which was the Detective Comics 1000 Batman, if you remember, but I do have another early DC Multiverse Batman right here. Batman from the series Batman White Knight. Overall, yeah, he does fit in pretty well, but I am having trouble getting his hands into the control area where, his hands are supposed to be. At least, I assume so. This isn't the McFarlane version, but I did want to see how the Mattel Arkham City Batman would look in this Bat-Raptor. And I'm pleased to announce he fits pretty well in the Bat-Raptor. Which, isn't too surprising considering he's a bit smaller than your standard McFarlane DC Multiverse. Pretty recently, I'd say, McFarlane actually re-released the Bat-Raptor in blue with a repaint of the regular Hush Batman that originally came in that Hush 2-pack. So I feel like it's appropriate to bring out the first appearance Batman since he shares a lot of parts with Hush. I gotta admit, getting him into the Bat-Raptor was a tight fit, but this figure does look pretty good in the Bat-Raptor, and plus, this first appearance Batman has a wired cape, so you could do some pretty cool stuff with it blowing in the wind while he drives the Bat-Raptor. But hey, for my favorite McFarlane Batman body, let's bring out the blue and gray Nightfall Batman. And yeah, he fits in pretty much perfectly, which is no surprise considering he's a fair bit smaller than that first appearance Batman. But hey, for one last attempt, let's try one Batman that I am 100% sure won't fit. The Batman v Superman Armored Batman. Okay, I stand corrected. He is terrifyingly close to fitting in when you extend the vehicle. Granted, his hands aren't really getting into the control area, but you could definitely fudge it, and that is, really shocking because of how big this Batman is. But hey, for some other vehicle comparisons, we have the Batman Curse of the White Knight Bat-Cycle. I have done a little bit of custom painting on it, but what's important is that the White Knight Bat-Cycle can also do this just like the Bat-Raptor. For something a bit larger in size, we have this Mattel 12-inch Batmobile that I repainted a while back to look more like the Batmobile from Batman the Brave and the Bold. But for any Bat vehicle's natural arch nemesis, we have the Batman the Animated Series Joker-Mobile by DC Direct. Specifically, the fairly recent McFarlane re-release, and yeah, this thing is ridiculously massive compared to every other Bat vehicle I have. Well, I mean, I do have that one Batwing from The Flash that was made for 12-inch figures, but it would be too much of a pain to take that down, and I definitely couldn't fit it in frame, so I don't know, just pretend I included it here. But hey, as is tradition, here's the Bat-Raptor with Hit Monkey and Goliath. Alright, now that we're done with the figure comparisons, we can touch on the accessories, and there's just a standard McFarlane trading card, although I do like this one more than the ones we get nowadays with DC Multiverse figures, since it has, like, height, weight, and also its first appearance, Batman Who Laughs #1. But I believe this is talking about Volume 2, since it said it released in 2018 rather than 2019. Whatever, you can read the dimensions and the bio right here if you pause right now. But who cares about the card? Let's talk about how much this thing is gonna cost you. Now, originally, to my knowledge, this McFarlane Bat-Raptor retailed for around the same price as a regular figure, $20, which, I mean, that's pretty dang good. If you don't want to go to a secondhand, like, market or anything, and you still want the Bat-Raptor, well, I did mention that one re-release of a repaint of Hush Batman that came with this Bat-Raptor. That's going on Big Bad Toy Store for about $40, so I mean, $20 figure, $20 vehicle, it adds up. But if you want the original release, you're gonna have to go to the secondhand market, since, I mean, this thing came out like 5 years ago. It's not on store shelves anymore. And on eBay, it goes for very varying prices. I've seen it go for between 20 to like 40 or 50. Which, I mean, dang, I didn't know the Bat-Raptor was in such high or low demand at the same time. I didn't pay any, eBay prices though. I actually got this guy this vehicle at a local flea market for, well, $20, pretty much the retail, which, I mean, yeah, I'm pretty satisfied. So for my overall thoughts on the Bat-Raptor, I think it's a really dang cool vehicle. The painting and sculpt work is nice. I like the fact that it can just, like, extend. That's a really fun feature. It fits a lot of the DC Multiverse Batman I have. Even somehow the Batman v Superman armored version. And overall, it's just pretty cool, and I got it for around retail price, which, I mean, is a pretty good deal. That's a really cheap price for this vehicle. So overall, I'm going to give the McFarlane DC Multiverse Bat-Raptor a 10 out of 10. I mean, I can't really think of any direct flaws with this thing that aren't really anything like, oh, it's not the Batmobile or the Bat-Cycle, it's different. I mean, the most I could say in terms of complaints was that, like, it was kind of annoying to get it out of the box because of all, like, the twisty ties and straps. And also, I guess the card mentioned the fact that the Bat-Raptor has an emergency ejection seat and the plastic version doesn't. But I mean, like, those are probably the most comical complaints I could imagine about this thing. So, yeah, I really love this vehicle, and I think it's a pretty nice addition to my collection of Batman vehicles. Now, just saying, McFarlane, you've already made the Batwing, the Batmobile, Bat-Cycles aplenty. Give us the Whirly Bat from Batman 66. Come on, I know you wanna. But hey, if you're still watching, first of all, thank you. And second of all, of course, have a great day, 'cause you deserve it. Bye-bye.